Y'all, I am making my first sourdough loaf with inclusions tomorrow, and I'm scared. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Fun Friday, episode 2. Woo! And the crowd goes wild! If you are new here, hello, my name is Jessica, and mostly here on the channel, we talk about true crime. However, a couple of weeks ago, I started this new series where every other Friday, I post whatever I want so that we can spend some more time together and, we can just have fun. Fun Fridays, they're for goofing, all right? You gotta lighten things up sometimes, especially in today's world. Anyway, if any of that sounds like a good time to you, I'd say subscribe, stick around, and join me back here each week. It's pretty fun, if I do say so myself, and we'd sure love for you to join us. Speaking of us, collectively, to all of you who have been here for a while, I do just have to, one more time, very quickly, thank you guys for your sweet comments and your encouragement on my first Fun Friday video a couple of weeks back. I truly feel like just the luckiest bitch on the planet to have built a community here that is just like so down for whatever. You're so supportive and so encouraging and just, oh man, you guys are rad, and truly I hope you know just how thankful I am for each and every one of you that shows up here for each video and that takes the time out of your days to spend with me. It truly is very humbling and just, I love you guys. You know what I don't love though? Yes, today we are, in fact, going to be going through some more Reddit stories. No, this isn't what every Fun Friday video is going to consist of. However, it is going to be what the first couple are, just while I try to work out some other concepts and some other topics for these videos. If these aren't your favorite types of videos, that is totally fine. Please feel free to leave some other Fun Friday video concepts down in the comments. But beyond that, let's freaking judge some people. Story number 1. Am I the asshole for cutting off our fat male friend whose sense of humor was throwing random insults at us? We are off to an interesting start. We had a friend who I believe has some issues. Whew, don't we all? He quite often insulted people in our friend group, whether that be calling a girl in our group a slut for chewing gum. What? Calling a guy a pizza face for his acne, or telling another girl that she has sticks for legs because she's thin, and so on. So right away, not loving this guy, but I'll reserve my judgments till the end, she says while already violently judging these people. Anyway, he also makes fun of his other friends quite often when they're doing presentations, having hard times during job interviews, etc. Why are you friends with this man? I mean, I guess you're not anymore, judging by the title. That's like the whole point of this post, I guess. But I'm genuinely curious how you became friends with this person in the first place. Has he always been this awful? Is he going through something particularly at this moment? Is this behavior new? Like, I have a lot of questions. Lately, he's gained an awful lot of weight. During lunch, one of my friends told him that he's obese and that he should stop eating so much. Although I would have blamed her in any other situation, given how often he insults everyone in our group, including her, and claims it's just a joke/honesty, I didn't think it would cause an issue. I mean, I guess I feel like that's a fair assumption, but something tells me old boy is not going to feel the same way. He got very upset, slammed his fist on the table, and left without a word. Yep, I knew it. We can dish it out, but we can never take it for ourselves. He apparently called my friend several times, telling her she's awful for making fun of his fatness, even though I have firsthand witnessed him mock her for being thin several times. Okay, I do have thoughts about that particular juxtaposition, but let me finish the story and then I'll get into that. Me and my friend have ignored him and his weird reaction, and we no longer talk to him. Honestly, given his reaction and his track record, that kind of sounds like it might have to be the option. Like, it sounds like that would be best for everyone involved. I simply told him I didn't agree with what my friend said, but it really wasn't that serious compared to the amount of times and insults he threw at us daily, so that I wouldn't be on his side with this one. Am I the asshole? Okay, so low-key, I kind of think everyone in the story is an asshole to some degree or another. Like, definitely this guy that you used to be friends with is an asshole for constantly treating you guys this way and then trying to disguise it as humor. However, I do think that it would be nice to have a little bit more context. Like, is this normal for your friend group? Do you all rip on each other all the time, but this guy's jokes just tend to be meaner than what you guys say to the rest of each other? Have you guys ever talked to him about the comments that he makes? Have you ever told him how hurtful that you guys think they are rather than them being funny? Because where I kind of think that the rest of you run the risk of being assholes is, did you grin and bear this for weeks, months, years, whatever, without saying anything, and then you all of a sudden blew up on him and then cut him off without any explanation? Because if you guys were really friends, then I would think that this scenario would warrant more of a conversation pretty early on, like after he first started making these snide, shitty comments. Now, if you didn't like it and you did speak up to him on multiple occasions, but he went on to continue to behave this way, then I honestly really don't think that anyone could fault you or your other friends for finally trying to give him a taste of his own medicine. That said, I would be remiss not to mention that, in my opinion at least, I do think that there's a difference between making fun of someone who's fat versus making fun of someone who's thin, only because one is seen as being like totally socially acceptable, while the other is more or less not. Don't get me wrong, I don't think either is correct. I think more of, as a blanket rule, joking or not, people should probably just refrain from commenting on other people's bodies at all. But like I said, if he is constantly making jokes and comments and snide remarks to all of you guys, then why wouldn't you think that it was okay to do the same to him? Clearly, he thinks this is funny. Clearly, this is his sense of humor. Honestly, my biggest fear in this is that with this weight gain, was this guy trying to keep the focus off of him because he was becoming very insecure? Is he struggling with his health? Is he struggling a lot with this weight gain? Was he maybe trying to disarm you guys first as sort of a defense mechanism? I mean, certainly it doesn't make it right by any means. Just because he might have been struggling certainly doesn't give him the right to act this way. I definitely think he was being an asshole. But without more context, I do fear that you and your other friends may also kind of be acting like assholes if, and only if, you did not try to talk to him before this, and you didn't try to figure out why he was suddenly behaving like this. Again, I don't know the story and the history behind y'all's friendship, but logic would lead me to believe that he probably didn't always act like this, because I really don't think that you would have befriended him if he had. So to cut him off like that without explanation over something that you may have inadvertently led him to believe was okay by never telling him that it wasn't, I don't know. This is a tough one. I feel like I really started out against the friend, but the more I've sat and ruminated on the whole situation, it all seems shitty. If you have talked to him and he continued to act like that, and then he threw a fit when someone decided to give it back to him, then no, I don't think that you're an asshole. If that is the scenario, then he sounds toxic, and it probably is best for you guys to cut him out of your lives. Either way, you're entitled to end a friendship that you don't feel like is serving you any longer. Again, I think that I would need a little more context for this particular situation to help really discern whether or not you're, at the very least, like a diet asshole in this situation. Let's see what Reddit had to say. Top comment says, "Don't dish it if you can't take it. Not the asshole. Sounds like he has his own issues that he needs to work on." I completely agree with this. He definitely does sound like he has some stuff going on that he very much needs to sort out. Ooh, this is an interesting take. Not the asshole. My first thought was that what your friend did wasn't even that offensive. If you watch somebody gain weight and you don't say anything, you're part of the obesity problem. This idea that we can't speak up about this is absurd. And I say this as a person that I really wish people around me would have been like, what the fuck are you doing? Okay, so while I see what this commenter is saying, I do think that for this to be true, you would have to be showing concern in an empathetic way. Like, let's not try and disguise what that friend said to him as coming from a place of concern. She said what she said as retaliation. Point blank, period. I'm not saying that it wasn't valid, but had her comment truly been from a place of empathy, she would have pulled him aside and talked to him one-on-one. She wouldn't have blasted him in front of the entire group simply because she was mad. Beyond that, though, looking through these comments, I actually kind of seem to be in the majority. Most people are just flat out saying, like, don't dish it if you can't take it. Play with fire and get burned. burned, act like a piece of shit, get treated like a piece of shit. If he can't lick the spoon, he shouldn't be stirring the pot. Gee, I didn't know there wasn't that many ways to say this. Good lord. Well, it looks like the general consensus from Reddit is that you are not the asshole. However, I personally need more context before I can really land on one side or the other. So let me know what you guys think. Story number 2. Am I the asshole because I won't delay having a hysterectomy after the birth of my baby so I can be a surrogate for my sister? Probably not, but let's not jump to judgment. But also, almost certainly, no, you're not. I, 28 female, am having my third and final child with my husband, and I have a scheduled C-section and hysterectomy planned. My period started when I was 9, and I've suffered with them ever since. Whew, I feel that. I get period migraines that will take me the fuck out of commission, so I definitely feel for whatever Aunt Flo is choosing to bestow onto you each month. They are extremely painful, heavy, and very long. Oh, you poor thing. I wasn't even sure if I could get pregnant with my issues, but I knew I wanted children, so I delayed even when the option was originally presented to me. It was worth it, but these extra years have been torture on my body. Sounds like it, dang. My sister, 31 female, is struggling with infertility. Oh god, that's so hard. Personally, I've never dealt with it. I've seen it firsthand, and it truly can be devastating and heartbreaking and soul-crushing. So I feel for the sister too. She's had some fertility treatments, but nothing has worked for her yet. It was suggested to her on more than one occasion that she should consider a surrogate, but she was against it for a very long time. In any other situation where I didn't have all of these problems, I would have offered for her because we are that close. Oh, that's so thoughtful. I have to imagine that it is very hard for you to know that you could, but that you also just can't do that for her. I just need to be done. Valid. I don't know if I'll honestly survive like I have been if I wait another couple of years or more so that my sister can have kids. Yeah, I mean, that sucks, but harsh as it may sound, it's really not your responsibility to put yourself or your body through that. In December, my sister came right out and asked me not to have my hysterectomy yet and to be her surrogate so that she can be a mother. I told her I was so sorry, and if my body wasn't giving me the hell it was, that I would do it for her, but I couldn't delay any longer. She got upset, but told me it was fine and that she understood and that she'd get over it. Okay. I could tell that it bothered her, but I didn't want to fight about it until then Christmas came and my brother-in-law, oh Jesus, my brother-in-law got involved.
Okay, no uterus, no opinion.
Our whole family was together Christmas Day, and when everyone was busy, he asked to speak to me, and then he berated me for my selfishness. Oh, no the fuck. He did not. He said that if I loved my sister as much as I said I did, I'd delay it like I had for my own selfish reasons. My husband and mom heard him and they stepped in to defend me, and my husband told my brother-in-law to back off and that nobody should ever be put under the pressure to carry a pregnancy. I know that's right. Mom said emotions might be high around it, but that none of this was my fault and that he shouldn't attack me like that. Brother-in-law told them that I broke my sister's heart and that he was pissed at me for it. Wow. Mom told him again that this wasn't my fault. The rest of Christmas Day was strained, and afterward my sister told me she was sorry about her husband, but that they were just so upset that they had felt robbed of having a baby biologically related to the two of them. I told her I was sorry and that I was here for her if she needed me. Brother-in-law then reached out and said my sister might be sorry, but he still thinks I am being incredibly selfish. The absolute fucking audacity of this man. Am I the asshole? Okay, so let's get this out of the way right up top. You're not the asshole. Nobody is entitled to someone else's body for any reason at any time. Ever. I think it is very obvious who the asshole is in this situation, and that would be your brother-in-law. The fact that he feels entitled to your body to rear his children is appalling and, well, it is disgusting. Honestly, it's a massive red flag. If I were your sister, and this is going to sound harsh, I would greatly rethink even having a baby with this man to begin with, because he clearly has very little regard for women. Like, to think of this man with these values and ideals potentially getting saddled with a daughter, that sounds like an absolute nightmare. Just a recipe for disaster. The gall to call you selfish when they're the ones that are asking you to put your body through, I mean, not even just pregnancy and birth, but to put yourself through potentially years more pain each and every month. Listen, I'm not even going to sit here for a second and try to pretend that I know even a fraction of the pain of infertility, because I genuinely cannot imagine what that pain must come with. My heart breaks for anyone who has had to or is currently struggling through that. It's not fair and it's awful. However, struggling with anything in life does not give you the right to invalidate or to diminish the experiences or the struggles of someone else. There are hundreds of thousands of women out there that are ready, willing, and able to carry a baby for other people. And that's an incredible gift. I can't even put into words how selfless it would be to do that for someone. Where I personally believe the problem lies with that is that, like most medical procedures, especially in America, that's just expensive. Personally, what I'm gathering from this is that you being their surrogate is so important to them because it would likely be much more financially manageable. And that's gross when you really sit down and think about it, that they're willing to put you through years of pain and suffering just to save, a few tens of thousands of dollars? Don't get me wrong, the idea that IVF and surrogacy is priced the way that it is grotesque. That a person's tax bracket determines whether or not they get the chance to become parents, that's unfathomable to me. But at the end of the day, your body is your body, and you should have the right to choose what you do and don't do with it. Your sister does not have any rights to your body. Your sister's potential future baby doesn't have any rights to your body. And your sister's dusty, crusty, misogynist, fucking jackass of a husband certainly does not have any rights to your body. Like I said, I would be disgusted if I was your sister by the way that my husband behaved. And I would very much rethink whether or not I truly wanted to bring a baby into this world with that man to begin with. But enough of what I think. To the comments. Not the asshole. She is not entitled to your womb. It is terrible for her husband to pressure you like that. Yup. Even if OP had easy pregnancies/periods, it is incredibly audacious to ask a woman to undergo the difficult process of artificial implantation, growing and bonding with a human being, and going through the emotional process of delivering a baby. The entire thing is designed by nature to create a mother-child bond for the preservation of our species. And then just to give up the baby, that is incredibly traumatic for both the carrier and the baby to be separated at birth. I could never imagine asking my sister, who I love, to go through that for me. It is a very selfish ask. I wouldn't say that asking necessarily is selfish, but I would definitely say that demanding it, as these two seem to be, is incredibly selfish. And I didn't even touch on what they were talking about. The artificial implantation, IVF, that shit ain't easy on a person. Injections and hormones and medications, all of these things come with their own whole host of side effects. And that's before you even put the baby into the surrogate. Then on top of that, pregnancy is hard and birth is hard. Like this person said, the separation after the fact can be very hard. There's women who do it, obviously, and that's amazing, but to just assume that someone should have to do it for you because they're related to you and fertile, that's pretty vile. Not the asshole. I've also given birth 3 times, and let me just say that your brother-in-law can fuck all the way off. How do you feel entitled to nearly a year of someone's pain and discomfort? I wouldn't even do it again for my own family, let alone for someone else. Yeah, preach. I too have given birth 3 times, and I wouldn't do it again for myself, so I certainly wouldn't be caught doing it for anybody else. Again, I do want to stress that I feel bad for the sister and the struggle that she's currently going through, but regardless of that, no person is ever entitled to the body or the womb of another person. That's the end of it. There's no reason for that, ever. That, my friends, is a slippery slope straight into some Handmaid's Tale bullshit, if I've ever heard it. Story number 3. Am I the asshole for not feeling anything about the death of my rapist? Ooh, wow. I can't imagine how you would be, but I guess we'll see. A lot of people recently have been telling me about my rapist's health conditions. I'm confused as to why anyone would feel that that information was necessary or appropriate to try to give to you or to shove down your throat, but I guess maybe their family or something? Someone that you weren't able to fully escape or completely avoid following what they did to you? They were saying that he had stage 4 lung cancer and heart failure. Smells like karma to me, but what do I know? I just got the news today that he died, and I don't really have any feelings about it, but it's looking like a lot of people are making me out to be heartless about the situation. Excuse me? Who are these people? They sound awful. I just feel really indifferent. I mean, it's sad that it happened, but I just don't feel anything, nor should you be expected to. Just for context, the rapist was someone that I knew from high school. Okay, that explains that. I thought he was someone that was trying to pursue a relationship with me, only to find out that he was an abusive narcissist that stalked me for 3 years after ending things. Wow, what a huge piece of shit. Am I the asshole for feeling meh to it all? Absolutely, without question, no. The fact that people are putting you in a position to where you feel that you even need to ask this question, that in and of itself is reprehensible. Your trauma, your grief, your experiences, those are yours to process in whatever way feels right to you. For people to expect that you would be supposed to grieve someone who did such horrible things to you, that's like beyond my comprehension. Shit, in my opinion, you would have every right to throw a fucking party or parade joyfully up and down the streets, and it still would not be anyone's right or business to tell you how to process what you've been through. I mean, I don't even feel like I need to go through the comments to see what Reddit has to say, but I guess for argument's sake. Oh, not the asshole. You're not being mean or spiteful. You're doing nothing wrong. Very true. Not the asshole. Maybe allow yourself to feel some joy. One less turd floating in the bowl. I mean, they ain't wrong. Not the asshole, as you didn't cause his death, you just aren't sad about it. People die every day, and if you had to feel sad about every death that occurs, you would never feel anything other than sadness. That's a good point. Not only did this person do horrible things to you, but my guess is that you probably haven't maintained contact with this person, let alone any sort of actual relationship. So to be expected to be, beside yourself over this person's death, that's sorry, in my opinion, that's ludicrous. Not the asshole. People feel how they feel. It's not wrong to feel something. I mean, yeah, that about sums it up. Moving on, I guess, to story number 4. Oh my God, I forgot about this one. Oh, buckle up. Am I the asshole for not warning my wife about my ass rag? Jesus. I'd be lying if I said I was not genuinely horrified at the thought of what the fucking ass rag might be, but I mean, please, go on. Okay, context. Yes, please. My wife is weird about butt stuff. Okay? I'm not talking about sexual butt stuff. That's obviously personal and up to the individual. I mean her unwillingness to acknowledge that anything comes out of the butts of people, or that people even have buttholes. Is your wife 7 years old? Because if not, she needs to grow up. When we bought our house, I wanted to install a bidet, but my wife was against it. Okay. I told her she doesn't have to use it, but she said that just seeing it would gross her out. Oh, Jesus Christ. I mentioned not feeling clean just from wiping with paper, and she didn't understand. I don't think anyone's clean just wiping with paper. Not everyone has naturally hairless assholes that barely require wiping. Oh my God, this guy's amazing. She asked if I could find an alternative, and I said that I could use wet wipes, but they're not flushable, so they'd have to go in the trash. She didn't like the idea of poopy things in the trash can and told me that I would have to figure something else out that she wouldn't know about. She is really not making this easy on you, is she, my guy? So on to my ass rag. Ah, yes, the moment we've all been waiting for. I took an old towel, tore it up, and installed a discreet hook behind the toilet to hang the rag. You shut the fuck up right now. Well, immediately, that is 1,000,000% more disgusting than some baby wipes or a bidet. I don't like that at all. It is completely hidden. Well, I should certainly fucking hope so. The way our bathroom is set up, we only have one. The sink is right next to the toilet, so I'm able to wet the rag, clean up, wash it in the sink, and hang it back up. I might actually be ill. I swap it out a couple of times a week. Gross? Maybe. Gross? No. Revolting? Yeah, that's where we're at, my friend. Oh, God. I figured this is my business since my wife didn't want to hear anything about my butthole cleaning habits. I mean, props to this guy for washing his ass, because I feel like most dudes don't. So I'll give him that. Recently, my wife and I were showering together, and she forgot to bring in a washcloth for herself. I don't use one. I use a sisal pouch? What the hell is that? Sisal pouch with a bar of soap. Okay. I offered to hop out and grab her a washcloth, but she said, no, don't worry about it. I'll just use yours, and reached for my ass rag. Oh my God. Nope. No. I told her you don't want to use that, and when she asked why, I just told her to trust me, but she kept pushing through, so I eventually came clean about my ass rag. She was horrified. I think we all are, bud. She started dry heaving and kicked me out of the shower. I mean, at least your ass was probably already clean. Apparently she'd been using it as a washcloth for years whenever she forgot hers. Oh my God. Oh my God, I would have passed away right there. Just immediately done living. Oh my God. What I don't get is how she thought that this was a washcloth because it's hidden behind the friggin' toilet and she knows that I don't use a washcloth. I think you're getting a little off track here, my friend. From my perspective, it was obvious that my ass rag wasn't a washcloth and that all bets are off when you use someone else's shit without asking. Not to mention her butthole hang-up is interfering with my personal hygiene. From her perspective, I violated a clear boundary that she set all those years ago and that I'm an overall gross person. Oh, okay. I did apologize, but I was upset and my apology wasn't really sincere. I'm sleeping on the couch right now and I'm trying to give her some space, but I'd like to know if I owe her a more sincere apology over this whole ass rag fiasco. Yeah, you owe her an apology and probably some neomycin. Cause pink eye. It's a real thing. I'm really not sure, and her reaction has me thinking that I am actually a disgusting person. I just lack the perspective to see it. But I also don't think that her butthole aversion is normal, and it's the main reason I ended up resorting to the ass rag solution in the first place and not telling her about it. Am I the asshole? Pun intended. You're both assholes. You came up with more than one perfectly legitimate, perfectly acceptable solutions, and your wife, for whatever reason, well, she poo-pooed all over him. I'm sorry, I'll stop. I mean, realistically, there's every chance in the world that I won't, but I'm immature. What can I say? It's part of my charm. Anyway, your wife is an asshole for being, like, unbelievably immature about the human body. Sure, you don't have to walk around with your butthole out or anything like that, but it's unreasonable of her to think that you should act like it doesn't exist at all. However, where I feel like you, my man, are the asshole is I feel like you took some real big, like, zero gravity moon steps from bathroom wet wipes to dirty hidden little ass rag. That's so gross. Please explain to me why you guys could not have gotten, like, essentially a diaper genie to go into the bathroom. Something that is literally made to contain this type of waste while also mitigating odor and cutting down on, like, the unsightliness of it all. Personally, I don't even really see the issue with baby wipes in, like, a regular trash can, provided it has a lid. But maybe I'm alone in that. Maybe that's because as the mom of young children who still wipe themselves with baby wipes after they use the bathroom, maybe I don't have the right perspective. We simply have an auto open shut trash can in our bathroom where the kids throw their wipes before they wash their hands, and, like, that's it. Out of sight, out of mind, and we just change the bag when it needs to be changed. In my opinion, it is just simply not that big of a deal. Again, maybe I've become desensitized over my years of parenting to poop and throw up and blood and just all of the, bodily things that come along with raising children. But to me, it seems way grosser to think about potentially walking around with a crusty, stank-ass, poorly wiped rear end. Which, speaking of, the fact that you're not changing this rag out every time it gets used is deeply unsettling and very disturbing to me. There is no chance in the world that you are adequately hand washing this rag in the bathroom sink between uses. Okay, I'm getting somewhere here. Listen. Why did you not just buy a pack of washcloths that you kept to yourself that you grabbed each time you went to the bathroom? Then you use it, you rinse it, you throw it in the laundry, and then boom, none of this would have happened. My final answer: you are both assholes. Your wife is an asshole for vetoing all of your decent suggestions and for acting like a 6-year-old about real life facts of the human body. And you are an asshole for leaving your shit-covered rag just hanging around in the house without any warning to your wife not to touch it or, for the love of God, not to use it. So that is my verdict. Let me see what Reddit had to say. Top comment says, how are you supposed to warn her about something that she doesn't want to know about? I mean, I do agree with this. She doesn't seem to have fostered an environment that was conducive to open communication. So honestly, what did she expect? Can she wipe her own ass? If she can, then her aversion is purely control of others. A bidet would allow her not to have to wipe her own ass and is way more hygienic. Not to mention, you can get the Tushy Electric, that sounds fancy, which also does front and back. It heats the water and it dries you. Where do I get this? This sounds luxury. You respected her boundaries by finding a solution and didn't tell her, which is what she asked. She violated your boundaries by using your hygiene item. Even if it was for your face, which I agree, why would you hide behind the toilet? She chose to use it, which is cross-contamination. I mean, okay, we're getting in the weeds here a little bit. Not to mention, if she uses makeup, she's now leaving product on your hygiene item. Okay. Stand your ground. She set the terms, you followed. She chose to ignore your boundaries and use your item without your permission. She's only got herself to blame. I can't believe that this is an actual married couple. There is no way on earth that these people have kids if this woman is this, like, unbelievably perturbed by the simple existence of a poop chute. I can't help but think that if your wife knew she was choosing between have a bidet or having an ever-present ass rack, she would have chosen the bidet, right? That's what you should have done. You should have threatened her with the ass rag, and then by comparison, the bidet probably wouldn't have seemed that bad. I like the way this person thinks. Yeah, it seems like most of Reddit's in agreement here. You're not the asshole, and your wife needs to grow up. Oh, and you need to throw your whole goddamn bathroom away and start over after this whole ass rag thing. Just... Ugh. Story number 5. Oh, man, already? Oh, that stinks. This is the last one. Am I the asshole for telling my partner that I don't want breakfast? Wow, the spectrum we've got going here today is wild. Hello, everyone. This is a throwaway account, but here's some backstory. I, female 22, live with my partner, male 28, and we've been together almost 7 years. Ever since I had my... Hold on. I, female 22, live with my partner, male 28. We've been together almost 7 years. You mean to tell me that you were 15 dating a 21-year-old man? Ma'am. I mean, I'm gonna finish the story and I'll try to remain objective, but full transparency, I am not picking up good vibes from your partner already. Just saying. Ever since I had my daughter, I've developed an allergy towards eggs, which causes me to throw up and have horrific stomach cramps for hours. Oh, see, I went the opposite way. I used to hate eggs, like I'm talking viscerally despise them, but then I got pregnant with my oldest, and then for some reason I started craving them, and then ever since it just really hasn't been a problem. A few mornings ago, my partner was upset that I had nothing to cook him for breakfast, so he said he was going out to get breakfast, and I told him that he didn't have to grab me anything because most fast food breakfasts include eggs, and I also don't like breakfast sausage, okay? He told me he would feel bad if he didn't get me anything, but I explained that it was fine because I haven't been able to eat eggs since having our daughter. Why doesn't he know that? That right there, like, I've reminded him of this many times, but he never listens. Oh, fantastic. He then started a huge fight with me and told me I was being rude and aggressive. Whoa, mantrum. It ended up becoming a full-blown argument with him hurling insults at me in front of our daughter, who I was what the actual fuck is wrong with this man? I was sat in the corner of our kitchen cabinets on the floor with her, and he was standing over me. At that point, I began to get scared as he was towering over me and threatening to take my phone and to remove all of the money from my Venmo. He uses my Venmo like a savings account. Ugh. I ended up cowering back in the corner of the cabinets as far back as I could and telling him to get away from me. This is abuse. Full stop. Verbal, psychological, financial. This is actually scary. He then walked away and told me that he could not believe that I was scared of him. Oh, and now we have gaslighting too. Cool. He's trying to make you feel crazy when he's undeniably the one who's in the wrong here. He then went on to say that he doesn't think things will work out between us and that we may have to consider joint custody. Oh, girl, run. Get as far away from this man as you possibly can. And I would strongly consider sole custody of your sweet, innocent little daughter. Because if this man can blow up over a sandwich like this is absolutely not a healthy environment for you or for your daughter. And things will likely only continue to get worse from here. All this because I didn't want him to bring me back breakfast. I never said it in a mean or harsh way. I just reassured him that he didn't have to feel bad about not buying me breakfast. And I managed to spiral into him yelling at me, trying to intimidate me, and saying that he wants to separate. I literally cannot believe what I'm reading right now. I said nothing 99% of the argument and just let him yell at me until he was done. Afterwards, we didn't talk for a few hours, and then he took a nap, woke up, and tried to pretend like everything was fine. See, absolutely not. That almost makes things worse, in my opinion. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Hell no. Hell no. Judging by your surprise at this situation, I feel like this might be a first-time thing. I'm certainly hoping that you've only had to go through this one time. In my opinion, though, that kind of behavior cannot be tolerated. Domestic violence and intimate partner violence, that is such a slippery slope, and it is a dangerous slope, and it usually starts out slow like this. Like, I think the overwhelming majority of people who have survived these type of situations would tell you that their nightmares did not start with physical abuse right out the gate. These people condition you. They basically train you, brainwash you to think that what they are doing to you is not that big of a deal. That's why when he woke up from his nap, he just didn't acknowledge it and acted like nothing happened. They start off slow and they push the boundaries of what you're willing to accept until one day, before you know it, they have like a complete and total hold on you. Personally, I think that you need to get out now while he's still in the beginning stages of all of this, before he has a chance to isolate you or to trap you any more than he already has. His reaction was so overblown and so unnecessary and unacceptable. Kick this fucking loser to the curb and find yourself and your daughter someone who earns their place in your life and not that feels that they're entitled to it purely by happenstance. Ew. Oh God, this guy makes me physically fucking ill. Oh, and that's not even to mention whatever the circumstances were surrounding the start of your guys' relationship, because it couldn't have been good. This man is absolutely a fucking predator, evidently in more ways than one. I say, leave him, sis. Leave him for your safety. Leave him for your daughter's safety. Protect your peace. You do not need this, despite what he may want you to think. Not the asshole, but I think you should take him up on that joint custody offer. If he can threaten to take away your phone, access to funds, and intimidate you like that over something as simple as breakfast, he will do it again. Totally agree. You should think about you and your child's safety at the end of the day. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm also saying screw joint custody, take that baby and run. That age gap at those stages of life raises serious red flags. Yes, it does. It's definitely worth reflecting on the dynamics of that relationship. Yeah, I'm disgusted by that. Where were the adults in your life when you were 15 and dating a 21-year-old? You need to change your Venmo account and find a safe adult to help you. This is an abusive relationship. Yeah, 1,000,000%. I could not agree more. He sounds controlling and abusive. See about getting a protection order against him and keep you and your daughter safe. Yeah, it kind of seems like we're all on the same page. This man is scary, he is dangerous, and given how their relationship started, kind of seems like he should already be in jail. Man, I truly hope that you're able to escape this monster and that you and your daughter are safe and protected and that you go on to live a calm, happy, and peaceful life, because it sounds like you deserve it. That got a lot more serious than I was anticipating by the title. Yeah, what a somber way to end off today's video. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on today's stories down in the comments. As always, I thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and to listen to these stories. If you have a suggestion for a Fun Friday video or a topic idea, please feel free to leave it down below. I really want to do a Q&A in one of these coming up, so maybe if you have any questions, leave them down there. Maybe I'll prompt that over the next couple of Fun Friday videos until I feel like I have enough questions. And as I'm sure most of you know, you can also request a true crime case for me to cover by simply filling out the case submission form that I have linked down in the description. Ooh, you know what? Maybe I'll make a separate Google form for Fun Friday videos. You know, that way you guys can send me like links or what have you for me to either react to or to read or whatever. I might have to do that. Sorry, thinking out loud here. If you haven't already and you'd like to, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I put out new Fun Friday videos every other week, and I put out new true crime and makeup videos every 10 days. Yes, that's a lot to keep track of. I will make sure to have the dates of my next few videos listed here on the screen for you now. But if you turn on your post notifications, you'll always be notified when I do post, and you'll always be sure to catch me back here in my next one. Until then, though, stay safe, don't be an asshole, and have a good week. Bye!